Mind you guys, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Welcome to my channel. So I decided while I try to find a bigger cornfield, I'm gonna tell you guys how I turned my life in a complete 360 circle. This is a cornfield, by the way. It's a pretty big one, but the crops are not that tall. I'm gonna go try to find a better one. Mind you guys, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I can scream as loud as I want, and the only people that's gonna hear me is the people in this house, and there's probably nobody home. But anyways, I went to culinary school, as some of you may already know, Johnson Wales University. I had a blast. I loved it. I wanted to do culinary ever since high school. I took culinary in high school. That's actually why I went to the high school that I went to, because they had a culinary program, and I just wanted to learn how to cook. I didn't think that I would want it to be a career or whatever. Go to school, start taking the class, and I'm like, ooh, whipping it up. I think I like this. I like creating new things and just experimenting with different type of things. So I said, okay, cool. I'm gonna be a chef. And I was young, so I said, I'm gonna just work in restaurants for a little while. Boom, get my first restaurant job when I'm 16. I was in the CCAP program, and I actually got it through them because I think it was a requirement or something to work in a restaurant. I worked in the restaurant for a couple of months for the requirement of CCAP. My first ever restaurant I worked in was Dos Caminos in the meatpacking district. It was cool. If you don't know what that is, it's like a Mexican restaurant, but it's cool. Just go there, try it out, whatever. They have a whole bunch, it's a whole chain. Anyway, worked there. My time was up. I think my time was like 3 months or something like that for CCAP, and I ended up staying because I was like, I need a job. I might as well stay here. So I asked them for a full-time position, and I got it, and I stayed there, and I worked there for a year. I did a couple of stations. I did the guacamole station, which was hectic. You ever worked the guacamole station in a Mexican restaurant? Bro, crazy. I was like stacking avocados, but my guacamole was on point, feel me? Because you know, I had to put the cilantro and the salt and the lime juice and all that good stuff. Did that for a whole year. I think that was my junior year in high school. No, it must have been my senior year. Yeah, it must have been my senior year, because I only worked there for a year and then I left because I was going to college. Right, it was my senior year. Junior summer into senior year, I worked there. And it was cool. But me, I always know, I'm like, I'm not gonna work in restaurants for the rest of my life. I'm just gonna do this now because it's the easiest job to get at the moment, especially at my age. What I would have preferred to do maybe more so was, what's it called? Like hotels, working at hotels, because they pay me. But I didn't do it. Then I went to college. I went to Johnson Wales. I went there for 2 years. I only did the culinary arts program because that school is expensive. It's a private university, but it was great. I loved it there. Especially I love Rhode Island because their air was just so clean and my face was just so skin, no bumps, nothing, right? But during that time, I then worked at Tavern on the Green for my internship for college, and I did 3 months there, and then I did another 3 months over the summer before I had to go back to school. That was cool. It was like an American restaurant, kind of. It's in Central Park. You probably heard of it. I don't know, but anyway. So my main focus was culinary, working in restaurants. Then graduated college. 2 weeks after I graduated college, I went and I started working at a restaurant named Gato in Soho. And this was one of Bobby Flay's restaurants. This is his baby. Like, he loves this restaurant. So he was always there, and I loved it there. It was like one of the best restaurants that I worked in. Great management. Like, everything was cool. You know, most of the time in restaurants, there's a lot of like, I want to say hatred, like, and favoritism, but there wasn't really much of favoritism and stuff like that at Gato, so I loved it there. And plus, Bobby was really cool. I was able to do more than I ever did in any restaurant there because I moved up in the stations pretty fast, and I worked there for 2 years. Whew. I'm out of breath, y'all. I've been working for a while. The good thing about that is I had hooked up that job before I even graduated college, so I kind of knew where I was going and what I was doing, and that was cool. I had a set plan, and everything was standard. Working this job, technically it's a 9 to 5, but I ain't work 9 to 5 hours. I worked the night shift, which was like 4 to whenever we closed, and I didn't like that schedule. I liked the schedule, but I didn't like the schedule. I didn't like the schedule because it was literally like your whole day. You know, you get home late, you just want to sleep for most of the day, and then by the time you wake up, you got to start getting ready for work again. Then I'd be tired, and I don't really like getting home really late because, you know, it's late. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning I would get home. I live really far. I found the big cornfield! Oh, look! It's all the way back there. That one is huge. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get across this intersection because this is just really weird, and this grass is wet. See how this looks? I'm trying to figure out the safest way. Luckily, it's not too many cars out here. But then I started to like really get into wanting to be in the entertainment field, and I wanted to be in front of the camera, and I wanted to have my own like culinary YouTube. And so I did it. I started it. I don't walk across this road really, really fast. But there's no cars, so I think I'm safe. And we're walking into the big cornfield. This one is huge. It's like the entire road. I worked on one of Bobby's TV sets one time, which was awesome. I absolutely loved it. And if I could do it again, I totally would, because it was just amazing. Like all the cameras and the energy of the environment and the work that was being done. It was like right in the lane of everything that I wanted to do. Like right in the lane. Yeah, I only did that once, which was really great, and I loved it, and I will go back anytime. So Bobby, if you see this video, yeah, hi. Alright, anyhow, I started my culinary YouTube, and I did it for a couple of months, but it was really expensive, so I had to stop doing it, but I plan on doing it again at some point. And then I was like, okay, so if I can't do that one right now, because, you know, it's a matter of finding the kitchen, buying the food, you know, taking the time apart. When I was shooting these videos, to make like one dish would take like 2-3 hours for preparation, grocery shopping. It was a lot. I loved it. It was a lot, and it was expensive. If I had the money, I would totally still be doing it. I'm gonna set my plan up a little differently next time once I start that again, which hopefully it can be soon. That was the start of me turning my life completely 360. I gotta keep switching this bag because it's heavy, and holding this camera is kind of a lot, and it's hot. I stuck in my shoe. This cornfield is huge. Oh my god. I decided that after 2 years, it was time for me to leave Gato because there was nowhere else for me to really go or nothing else for me to do. And I really wanted to learn and do different things as far as like cooking and life, because I learned like all the stations in like 6 months. So like for a year and a half, I was basically just rotating, which was pretty cool and really exciting because it's like whenever they needed me somewhere, I could just jump on, you know? So that was great because I wasn't really like doing the same thing all the time. I decided, okay, this is not it. This is not it. I think it's time for me to leave restaurants because I always knew that I didn't want to stay in restaurants for the rest of my life. So I said, I'm going back to school, gonna start a production company, I'm gonna be a vlogger. So I quit my job, I enrolled in school, I started my company, and I started vlogging. I've been preparing to vlog for a couple of years now, maybe 2 years, but a lot of setbacks have happened, and that's another time telling you all the setbacks that I went through with my equipment and getting my channel together. I wasn't working. I had some money saved up because I knew I was planning on doing all of these changes, so I saved some money while I was working. I just completely did 360. I went from completely stable to very unstable. But I was happy because I was doing all of the things that I wanted to do, you know, and when you just building your foundation and you're doing all the things that you want to do, you can't help but be happy. Even if you don't have as much money as you would like, you're still gonna be happy because you're doing what you love, you know what I mean? And money does not create happiness. Money definitely helps. It makes life easier, but it doesn't create happiness, and that's not what's gonna make you happy. Doing what you want and doing what you love is what's gonna make you happy, no matter how broke you are. I hadn't worked for almost an entire year, almost. And this past year has been so great in terms of me wanting and doing the things that I feel like is best for me. And then I started working again. I started working at like a temp agency where you just pick the days that you want to work. So basically, like, they send you text messages and you accept it if you want it, and you decline it if you don't, and then you work and you get paid. And I was making about the same amount of money I was making at the restaurant. And I don't have to work all the time, and it was perfect because I was in school, so I wasn't really able to work a steady job because my school schedule and my life schedule and everything else that I was trying to do. Basically, what I did was I went from being completely secured in terms of my job and how much money was coming into me and my routine of what I was doing every day, to being completely unstable, not knowing how much money I'm gonna make that week, not knowing what my schedule is gonna be. I try to be as organized as possible, and being in school kept me very organized because that was some type of schedule. You know, I had classes at a set time on set days. I had to be organized because, you know, I wanted to do good in school, and the only way I was going to be doing good in school is if I was organized and I made sure to schedule my time properly, which I was doing a great job of. I got a calendar, which I never really used before, like a handwritten calendar, because I am very old-fashioned. I like pen and paper. I don't really like technology all that much. I think it's cool, it's very useful, but like, as far as, like, I'm tired, y'all. That's how I turned my life completely 360. And my mom was a little surprised and a little upset because she's like, you went to this expensive school for 2 years and you're not doing culinary no more? And I'm like, Ma, I'm gonna do culinary. I'm just not doing it right this minute. You know, I'm gonna go back to it, but right now, I just need to do something else. So, that's what I'm doing. And I feel amazing and great.
This video has been brought to you by DDNT Entertainment.